Oh, hey there, it's Valerie Ling, clinical psychologist, just coming to you live. I've had a very interesting week. I've had several people reach out to me. I think really at a stage of fatigue and tiredness coming to the end of the year, and really just asking me some questions about how they can achieve a balance overall, and what are some of the things that I might suggest, and maybe some programs that I might have. And I thought that I would just hop online to talk about clarity. Clarity. It's perfectly okay and normal at this period of time to actually feel the burn of the busy period. There's a burn for the busy period because as a society, the pace starts to ramp up. You are running the last sprint, not just you, but everybody around you. And people are needing deadlines to be met before they go on holidays coming up. People are in their own zones, in their own burn zones. And so one of the things that you will actually find is that the pressure that comes from other people's pace and schedules will start to impact on you. I remember when my kids were in infant school, I used to not like this time of the year because for some reason there was like a flurry of notes, sort of reactive activities and get-togethers and last-minute to-dos and things that you had to throw together just to make it till the end of the year. And I think it's really that reactive space that I want to talk about today. We need to normalize that during this period of time, things are going to go out of order. Things are going to be topsy-turvy. Things are going to get to a pace that is going to feel frenetic. But you need to also normalize that you're going to get through this. It is very important that during this time that we also normalize the need to slow down. Let me give you a little bit of an example. When I was training to be, I thought I was going to be a musician. I didn't quite get there. Had a bit of a detour to this thing called psychology. That during the time when I was getting ready for exams and about to get ready for a major performance, I would practice hours on end in very deep focus. I would record myself, I would listen back to it, and actually got to the point where I would actually have physical cramps. Not so good. That's not so good. Now, that's an example of deep focus in an area that is incredibly meaningful, that's actually gone too far. Right? When you get to the pain point, that's when you get too far. And I actually think that's probably where some of the messages that I've been getting, who've been reaching out to me from various levels, have come to the point of a pain point where the frenzy just feels like it's getting to the point of being unbearable. So my first thing to say to that is, let's just normalize it in our heads and just say that everybody is going to feel this way. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't make any major changes just yet, because there's a high likelihood you are in a reactive space right now. And the best thing that you can do is to get into a reflective space. Reflect, not reflexive. You want to be reflexive in this reflective space. What I want you to do is I want you to actually, in the next day, carve out an hour, 1 hour in your day where you're actually coming to a stop, a physical stop. You don't have to be sleeping, but you need to switch your brain and switch your energy levels to a different mode. You can do something slow, something steady, something creative, something repetitive, something refreshing. You can connect with someone who really brings a kind of a joie de vivre. That's me trying to be French, but the joy of living, someone who basically gives you the joy of living, and reconnect with them. 1 hour, that's your circuit breaker. Get into a reflective space. And after that, really after that, once you've fed yourself physically, you're in a reflective space, after that, reevaluate just 1 day at a time. 1 day at a time. It's really quite amazing how after a reflective space and a little bit of an energized moment, the next day looks a little bit clearer, clarity. And all you want to do is to head for that 1 day and then do the same thing the next day. and the next day. And before you know it, the week is actually feeling a little bit more calibrated. Cut your losses with everything else. If it doesn't fall into a neat ticked to-do list, or you haven't quite gotten to finish everything that you wanted to do, that's okay. Cut your losses, simplify things, outsource some stuff if you need to. Grab a cookbook that just has 4 ingredients. I've done that frequently. And don't feel bad, don't feel guilty, don't feel lousy. Okay, it's just this time of year. Then what I encourage you to do is right now, pencil in for next year after the busy season, when you've got a little bit of downtime, to actually plan and reflect and say, okay, what could we have done differently in that last quarter? Let's make those changes now. Okay, have a great evening, everyone.